Alright guys, just reviews and more back with a quick video, this time on a gun cleaning product called a BoreSnake. However, this is basically the Chinese copies of these, like Hops makes a brand of cleaning rope that they call the BoreSnake that essentially cleans your firearm by sliding the fabric cloth and wire brush that's integrated into the actual cloth through the bore. So again, this will be a slightly controversial video because some folks don't like the idea of the Chinese copies. They may or may not be illegal based on whatever a lawyer says. And as always, if you find this video helpful, please give it a subscribe to the channel or like the video, and I really appreciate it. In this video we'll see three, and I'll demonstrate the use of one. One will be in a 22 caliber, 9mm, or it's actually marked 3.5 or 357 or 30 or 35 caliber, and then a 30 caliber BoreSnake for any given 30-06, 7.62, whatever will fit in there. I use it on my Mosin. Not in this video though. I just use it on. I use the 22 caliber knockoff Chinese copy BoreSnake on the little 22 pistol that I have. Each one is marked much like the BoreSnakes that Hops produces. Again, this is controversial because it's a knockoff product being sold possibly sometimes as a Hops BoreSnake, which I believe is wrong. But you also see these marketed as being unbranded. They're just bore ropes, BoreSnakes, or just cleaning rope. So I don't know what the status of the patent is. I know that when you go to the Hops website, they have different editions of these various snakes. They look just like this. Sometimes they change the colors of them. The biggest thing I worry about is the idea of not supporting the American company or buying American. So I was looking at the Hops website, and nothing I could tell from the Hops website actually says that these were made in the United States. So from my perspective, the difference between taking and buying this product for sometimes close to 1/4 of the price of the actual BoreSnake that Hops puts out there, if Hops is just going to make the stuff in China anyway and then sell it here for an upcharge, yeah, if they put all the money in the research, it's kind of lame. But at the same time, BoreSnakes, there's stories about them going back decades and decades. People used to use like shoelaces and dip them in oil and run them through AK-47s or rifles just to get them cleaned out and keep them running. So I mean, the use and the practice of this, the integrating the brush might be unique. The patent on this, I don't know much about it, but that being said, the patent's only as good as the lawyers you pay to actually get the patent enforced. So you see these things all over Amazon, up and down eBay, obviously, because they're a little more shady, for sometimes as cheap as like $2 if you don't mind waiting on the Chinese shipping. So if you'd rather pay 16 bucks to Hops for basically what amounts to an upcharge on a very old technology that's kind of got roots dating back years and years, decades upon decades, and I think there's even some old like 1920s stuff out there that people had this kind of idea of making cleaning ropes for the muzzle of a firearm. Again, some people might have a different opinion. I'm fine with it. Here you see me pulling them, just testing them to see how strong they are. They are perfectly fine. I use them for my weapons. It's, again, if you don't like the idea of not buying American, that's fine, but from my point of view, these things are just fine. They might not have all the bells and whistles of the newly upgraded and updated Hops BoreSnakes, and if you want some of those little bells and whistles, absolutely go buy them from Hops. But for my money, I'd rather spend $2, $3 for a 12-gauge BoreSnake than sit there and spend close to 20 bucks for one from Hops when it's going to do the same thing. And even if it breaks in a year, get another one. You basically have to use it for 4 years straight, have it break it every year. And most of the stuff on eBay, when it breaks, you can get your money back like that. Same with Amazon. If it breaks, the Amazon returns policy is very liberal, which is really about the same kind of guarantee you'd get from a company like Hops. So these third-party sellers, because of their various ways of protecting their customers, you're basically covered anyway. So unless you have a real problem with the fact that this is what might be a knockoff of what amounts to a patent on a very old technology that has roots dating back to multiple wars, don't pick this up. But if you're okay with saving the money, pick it up. I like them. You see the demo here. Sorry if the trigger presentation is bad. I'm trying to get this through. The 22 caliber is probably the hardest one to work through just because the knot at the beginning of the BoreSnake is pretty thick compared to the muzzle of the firearm. So overall, thanks for watching. I think it's worth the buy. If you have a moral problem with it, I understand. I don't judge. But if it's either this or not buying one, go ahead and pick one up and feel bad later. That's kind of my opinion on it. And thanks for watching.